Hey guys! Well, we're here again. It's Tune Up Tuesday. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Catherine Filippo. I go by Kat, and I'm a licensed master social worker here in Oklahoma. And I am here to bring you the good stuff of mental and emotional health and well-being. And so today we have a really exciting thing to go over, especially for kids, teens, parents, and teachers. And so today we're going to go over Dan Siegel's hand model. Dan Siegel, he is a clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA School of Medicine, and he is also the executive director of Mindsight Institute. He has written several books. One of my favorites is called The Whole Brain Child, and actually in that book, and he's posted several videos over the years, done several talks over this, he talks about seeing the brain as in the way of seeing a hand model, to be able to describe and understand what's happening when somebody feels threatened, and what parts of the brain they have access to and what parts they don't, and what ways we can, as educators, as adults, people who do have higher levels of thinking and understanding and problem solving skills, can help assist kids and teens, and maybe people who do not have that ability to achieve a sense of safety when they have been triggered by something in their environment or something within themselves that has triggered them. And so first we kind of want to talk about, first actually let me give you guys a disclaimer. So I am a licensed master social worker. I am under supervision for clinical licensure. And so that means I'm not quite a clinical therapist yet. I'm in training. And everything that I say or any information I give out is to be a helpful tool for mental and emotional well-being based on the evidence of other professors or therapists or doctors, anybody who is an expert on the research that's out there for emotional, physical, and mental health and well-being. So now that we've kind of cleared that out of the way, we know that this is not a form of therapy treatment. It is just an extra tool in your toolbox to take you along the way and hopefully give you some insight into what's really going on behind the scenes whenever chaos ensues and you're like, what's happening? So the hand model is this. So if you guys want to practice this with me, go for it. So basically, this is your brainstem, this section right here, right? It's giving lots of beautiful information to your brain saying, hey, breathe this way. Hey, breathe that way. Hey, increase your heart rate, man. Or hey, you can just go steady here. It's all about your blood pressure and your breathing, all those things you don't really even think about. That is involved in your brainstem. And so the brainstem is connected to something here in your back, and it's your central nervous system. It runs all the way down your whole body. Anywhere you have nerves, your nervous system that's the house that lives in. And so there is something right here, right? It's called your vagus nerve, and it runs from the pelvis region and all the way up your spine to your brainstem. That vagus nerve sends information to your brainstem, which sends information up to your limbic system, right here, this thumb we're hiding, this limbic system, saying, hey, I'm safe, or hey, I'm not. And that's one of its really important jobs. Hey, I'm safe, hey, I'm not safe. Then the limbic system, holds lots of great information, but specifically we're going to talk about the amygdala. The amygdala is a tiny structure in your brain, but it has a really big job, and it is to monitor stress in your environment. It's to say, hey, man, I forgot my homework at school, and now it's here, and we have to give our homework. I feel threatened because I don't have my homework. So we might not be able to feel super safe in that moment. We might feel like we're about to start sweating, right? Our lid is flipped. And what I mean by that is this up here, everything that we're covering up, if this is your limbic system and this is where your amygdala is, which controls how you fight or you flight or you freeze, whenever there is a threat. Then this, what's covering up that limbic system right here, is our prefrontal cortex. And what that means is that we are able to rationalize and reason and integrate everything that we have learned and are learning currently. And so when we are triggered, we don't have access. We don't have access to be rational, right? And so that kid that forgot his homework and the teacher's asking for it, hey, Charlie, where's your homework? Charlie is feeling nervous. He's starting to sweat. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say. He starts to put his eyes down maybe. And that would be a form of flight. He is nervous. He doesn't know what to do. And he knows that he just doesn't want to deal with this situation. He can't use rational thinking anymore whenever he feels threatened. Now it's up to the teacher to help him self-regulate. Hey, Charlie, maybe that looks like this. Teacher gets down on his level. Hey, Charlie, it's okay if you don't have your homework right now, right? Like, it is okay. The world does not end because Charlie does not have his homework. It is okay. There is going to be another opportunity for him to remember. We all have a lot of things going on in our world. We cannot remember every little thing. We aren't robots. We're not computers. And that's not to say, oh, it's okay, you never have to bring your homework ever again to school. But it's saying, hey, we will learn, but I'm not going to make that threat even stronger and make this even harder for you to bring back down your sense of safety. I want you to have a sense of safety, Charlie. And so I'm going to do what I can to help regulate that for you and with you. And so we got this amygdala here, right? Now, this is all of our rational and reasoning and all of our thinking, right? The way we can think rationally is when our lid is down. Whenever we have a threat in our environment, our lid is flipped. Flippity-doo. Can't do much if our lid is flipped because we don't have access to rational thinking. If this lid is flipped, Charlie's not gonna go, oh, hey, Mrs. Peters, well, actually, I forgot my homework and I'm really sorry. And what are our next steps? That's not what's gonna be happening if his brain is looking like this. What his brain might look like if his lid is flipped will be one of three things. The fight, flight, freeze response. So if he's fighting, he's gonna be maybe kicking his stuff in his chair, just upset, and won't talk about it. Ugh, I forgot my homework, it sucks. I hate this class. I hate it here. You're a mean teacher. We're seeing Charlie have a real big defense, right? He's putting up walls, he's angry. We're starting to see the feelings come out, right? Those big, intense feelings, because he doesn't feel safe. He's not sure how to get to safety either, right? He's unsure because why? That lid, it's gone. She way over there. And this amygdala is in charge now. And the amygdala, the fight, flight, freeze response system, or threat monitoring system, however you want to call it, or safety system, is in charge now. Because the body doesn't know that this is homework. The body knows it's a threat. The body can be perceiving this as a threat, and it could look like a bear chasing after Charlie. And so Charlie's like ready to fight this bear because he has no other choice. He can't run, he can't hide, he can't freeze, he's got to fight the bear. That's his threat response. I'm fighting, I'm upset, I'm angry. So that's fight, that's a fight response. That's what that could look like. It also could look like earlier when Charlie had his head down and his mind is going blank. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to do. He's forgot his homework and he knows he's supposed to have it, and he's starting to freak out. He's starting to sweat. He's starting to stumble over his words. He might have a dry mouth, right? He is going to be in a threatened state, right? He can't think rationally, Mrs. Peters. I know, it's tough, tough. And so what that also might look like if he's frozen, all right, so that was fight, flight, and now this is freeze. It might look like actual frozen, right? He is not moving, he's not talking, he has gone mute. Charlie is not in the room. He is just a frozen popsicle. So this bear called missing homework doesn't eat him. That's his solution, because he doesn't have access to thinking. He can't think through this. So it's our job, whenever anybody goes through this situation of being threatened, whenever the other person notices and we're in a safe place, what we can do is offer regulation. We can offer that lid because we have the lid. And what that really does look like, we're about to go through it. So let's say, so each of those three scenarios, we have Mrs. Peters and Charlie and his missing homework. So Charlie's kicking, right? He's in defense mode. He's in fight mode. I hate this class. It's stupid. And I hate homework. And I don't have to do it. And I don't have it. And I don't care. Whew. Mrs. Peters, she's already starting to feel her lid kind of shake a little bit, right? Like, oh, there's a threat here. There's something happening. Mrs. Peters is going to take some big, long, deep breaths. You'll notice my exhale was longer than my inhale. There's a reason. A longer exhale will stimulate that vagus nerve. It will stimulate that vagus nerve in a really helpful way and send messages to your brainstem and to your amygdala that, hey, we're all safe here, Mrs. Peters. We're all good. We're all good. Because easy, even breathing means there's no bears in the room. No bears. No problems. So Mrs. Peters is taking really even and long exhales to ensure that her lid is staying down. Her lid is nice and tight, right? Taking care of that amygdala, taking care of that limbic system where all of our emotions and threats and all of that lives. We're making sure that's nice and safe. So long breaths, long, easy, deep breaths. That's what Mrs. Peters is doing to make sure hers is staying down. Now she's taken those breaths, taking care of herself, and now she can offer regulation to Charlie. Charlie, might sound like this. Charlie, it seems like you're upset. Yeah, I'm upset. Leave me alone. Charlie, I will leave you alone, and I want to offer some help. It's okay that you don't have your homework today. It's okay, right? She's using this nice, even tone in her breath, and she's regarding Charlie still in a really helpful, loving, positive way. She's not saying, hey, Charlie, don't use that tone with me. You're disrupting class, right? That would mean Mrs. Peters' lid is flipping. Mrs. Peter is calm. She is saying to Charlie, it's okay that you don't have your homework today. It's okay. I hope you'll choose to take some deep breaths or choose something that will help you feel more calm. It's okay that you don't have your homework today, and we'll talk about it when you're calm. Is there anything I can do that would help you feel more calm? So in this scenario, we do hope that Charlie, if Charlie is a kid that frequently finds himself in the fight state whenever he is threatened, we really hope that Charlie has been practicing some coping skills that helps his anger. And he's connected with it. Because a lot of times in the defense state, we don't want to put something in that's going to help it, right? We just want everybody to leave us alone, give it some space. And that's what it really needs, is alone time and space. And so in this scenario, Charlie may not be able to be excused from the classroom. We would hope that there's a corner in the room that's kind of like a calm down corner where he can kind of go release some of that energy. Maybe there is a room in the school with with a safe person in it, and where they can go and punch a punching bag or touch a fuzzy wall or whatever textures, things that they can do to stimulate that safety in their body again. In this case, he may not have anything. He may just have Mrs. Peters' regulation system. He may just have that. And that might be enough, it might not. And so it's up to Mrs. Peters to be helpful. Just be kind and be helpful, right? Her job is not to match his defense state. Her job is to use her safety state to help his system become safe again. So she's just gonna say it. It's okay. The world is not ending that your homework didn't arrive to school today. And maybe she'll even make him laugh a little bit, right? Stimulate that safety. You know, I know some bears used to eat my homework too. Is that what happened to yours? Yeah. Well, I'll call your parents later and make sure that those bears are put to rest. Just kidding, right? That could even increase some state. Like, you're gonna call my parents? Yeah. So we're gonna say things and joke around in a way that is not going to increase his unsafe, stuff he's got going on. We are going to deliver things like, oh, bears ate your homework too? Man, I'm gonna have to get the bear patrol out. All right, it's gonna be okay, Charlie. Let me know if I can be any more helpful. You do have two choices. You can do deep breathing here at your desk. You can also go in the corner with the bean bags, and I'm fine if you just want to hang out there for a few minutes until you feel calm and want to return to your seat. I know you'll make the right choice for you. Okay. All right. Now Mrs. Peters is moving on to the next kid. She has used her regulation, right? Her soft tone of voice. She has used her breathing skills. She has used her unconditional positive regard for Charlie. He's still a good kid. He's still a bright young person, and he still deserves affection and a good attention, even though he is feeling threatened, right? Positive reinforcement. And so that's what that looks like for a defense state. Let's move to the flight. So now Charlie has forgotten his homework, right? Miss Peters comes up for his homework, and Mrs. Peters says, Charlie, can I get your homework from you? And Charlie is looking down. I don't have it. What's that, Charlie? I don't have it. I don't have my homework. His mind is starting to go blank. He's starting to sweat. That dry mouth is happening. Maybe his skin is starting to tingle a little bit, right? He's nervous. He doesn't know what's coming next. I've never forgotten my homework before. I don't know what happens when I do this. And so now it's up to Mrs. Peters again to offer her regulation to Charlie. And so she's taken those breaths. Hey, Charlie, that's all right. That's all right. You didn't bring your homework today. We hope it won't happen again, but it is okay that it didn't arrive to school today. Man, was it those bears again eating your homework? Ah, those pesky bears. You know, I'm gonna have to call the bear patrol out for that. It's okay, we all forget things sometimes. And I know that next time you'll try and do better and hopefully remember it. And so we'll talk here in a little bit about what we'll do about it, okay? All right. Some things you can do to help yourself feel a little bit more calm, because maybe you were just feeling nervous that you forgot your homework, is you can actually take out some colored pencils right now and draw or color while you're taking those nice, easy breaths. Those. You can also go to the back of the room in the bean bags and look at pictures in the book, if that would help you feel better too. It's okay, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Thank you, Charlie. Moving on to the next kid. We've offered our regulation. Charlie was noticeably calming down because, hello, the threat arrived, I forgot my homework, but then the safety arrived. My world didn't end because I forgot my homework? Oh my gosh. And she was nice to me? My goodness, that's awesome. She was respectful, awesome. And she gave me an option to calm down, great. These kids are not going to take advantage of kindness. They are learning respect in that moment. You're modeling respect for them. Kids learn from modeling. And so it's a really great solution for them to be able to be modeled respect and regulation whenever they've made a mistake or, have just lost their cool. And so that is the flight response that we can give to students or anybody struggling with their threat monitoring system. So the third is freeze. Freeze is a little harder because in the central nervous system, the freeze state is kind of all the way at the bottom of the safety net, basically. And so freeze takes a little bit longer. And so you have to probably know this kid a little bit better to know if a gentle touch on the shoulder is an okay thing, because sometimes affection can help stimulate that vagus nerve. But a lot of times kids don't want to be touched when they are feeling threatened, right? They're on guard, so they need to feel safe. So again, nice even tones. So Charlie has forgotten his homework. Mrs. Peters has arrived. Charlie, where's your homework? We're seeing him crunch, maybe, right? We're seeing the body language. It's not looking like Charlie feels very safe in this moment. And so things, again, we can offer. Hey, Mrs. Peter is slowing down her system, making sure she's nice and safe. Hey, Charlie, it's okay that you don't have your homework. You'll get it next time, okay? I'm even softer. I have to help Charlie out of that frozen state because he's frozen like a popsicle. And so I need soothing, warm tones. Soothing, warm tones. If you have a great rapport with that kid, it might be helpful to say, hey, is it okay if I touch your back? They might ask them, right? We're always getting consent. That's respectful. And if Charlie says, yeah, he's already starting to unfreeze, which is great. And so we might, offer a really nice soothing touch to Charlie's back or his shoulder, right? And we're saying, hey man, it's okay that you forgot your homework. It's not something that we wish would have happened. That's okay. The world isn't gonna end. And so we'll work on this later. And I know you're probably not feeling very calm right now. Some things you can do are just to take some easy breaths. Can you match my breath? And they might be able to, they might not. And so just understand that you're gonna try things and they're gonna not work. Sometimes they're gonna tank, just depending on where they're at on that ladder of safety. And so it could look like Charlie, saying, matching that breath with Mrs. Peter, or he could just still be frozen, right? He's just frozen, mind blank. So again, we want to offer that tool for him to go get some alone time so that he is not the spotlight. He's not the center of attention. And so we would say, hey, Charlie, you can definitely go in the back and sit in the beanbags and look at pictures in a book, if you'd like, for a little bit until you feel calm enough to join us again. It's okay that you forgot your homework. We'll work on it here in a little bit, okay? All right. Thank you, Charlie. So usually two choices. You can take some easy breaths, Charlie, right here. You can go in the back and go in the back corner for those beanbags. I really suggest that every teacher, every parent have a really nice quiet corner for children and teenagers to collect themselves. A space where that alone time is inviting and it feels calm and really cool, really cool. And so maybe you have an iPod in the corner, maybe you have books with really pretty pictures in it, art for kids to look at, fuzzy felt that's kind of on the wall that they can kind of just rub, things that are going to help them ground. Because when you are feeling threatened, it's going to take you a minute to bring that lid back down over your limbic system. It takes time. And so those are really helpful ways to respond to threats whenever one of our loved ones is in a threatened state of mind or threatened state of emotion. We can use our own regulation skills to offer them regulation, to help them feel more safe, more calm, and more invited, right? We're not going to say, well, to the principal's office you go. Charlie's about to be having a real hard day. It doesn't have to be like that. We just have to know that it takes anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes for you to come back down after you have felt really intense emotion. Sometimes even less. I've seen kids bounce back really quickly. And sometimes it takes kids or teens or adults a little bit longer. And so it's all okay and it's all normal, and we can all practice patience to allow each other to feel calm again. Because when we're calm, we can learn, we can rationalize, we can think, we can laugh, we can play, we can do so much more helpful things when our limbic system is taken care of. So love your limbic system. Take care of it. Connect with your breath. You'll notice we talked about breathing throughout this whole thing. Connect with your breath. It is the one and not the only thing, but it is a really powerful tool to offer that regulation to your whole system. Your whole system. So deep breathing for you, deep breathing for me. And remember that grounding tools, like using your senses, right? That's what grounding tools are all about, is using your senses. Smelling things, tasting things, seeing things, touching things, hearing things. That helps you brings you back to safety. Or it can also stimulate, feeling unsafe, depending on what it is. So get to know your kids, get to know what they like, get to know what senses stimulate safety and calm vibes for them, and know that, honor it. Teachers, I definitely suggest you guys do some emotional work in the classroom, because when you feel emotionally calm, you are ready to learn. You are ready to go. And so by working on that emotional health, you will be allowing children the graces to learn all the math and all the English, all the sciences when they feel emotionally calm. So I hope this video was helpful for everybody, and I can't not wait to see you guys next Tuesday. Everybody have a great day, and just keep feeling and healing.